Are you ready to have your website get found by the right people? Are you looking to rank at the top of Google so you get more traffic to your website? Are you ready to learn how to use SEO and content marketing to grow your organic traffic? If so, you are in the right place, my friend. Welcome to the Simple SEO Content Podcast. Hi, and welcome to the Simple SEO Podcast. Today is extra special. This is the 100th episode of the podcast, and I am so excited to have you here with me and to be able to celebrate just a little bit. And then I'm going to go into some of the most popular SEO tip episodes that I've done in the first 100 episodes. So we're going to talk about 5 of the most popular episodes, some of the best SEO tips, and the things that you are learning. So the first thing I want to say is 100 episodes. That's amazing. When I first started this podcast, I wasn't sure how it would work, if it would work, if I would like it. I thought I would, but I wasn't 100% sure. I didn't know if anybody would listen because when you first start a podcast, very few people listen. But over the last about 18 months, this podcast has grown and grown and grown. And I am so happy and I'm so thankful that you share a little bit of your busy schedule with me each week and that you allow me into your life to be part of your business and your strategy and trying to really build the business that supports your life in the way that you want it to be. And I know that for many of us, you're probably a lot like me. You really value your time freedom and your flexibility, and you're building this business because you want to be able to have more time to do the things that matter to you, whatever they are. And I want that for you too. And for me, it's SEO and content marketing working together, really fueling the website traffic that has made all the difference. And I'm so glad that you're here and you're learning. And I'm so glad that so many of you have joined me in Simple SEO Content. Now, if you're a podcaster, you're getting ready. Simple Podcast SEO is available. It is open for enrollment. If you want to launch a podcast but aren't sure how to do it, there is a bonus training in there. So it's perfect for you because I heard from a number of you that you wanted to launch a podcast, but you weren't sure how to do it. So I did go ahead and include that training in there as well as a bonus. So if you don't have one and you need to know how to do it and how to record and edit and upload and where to host it and all of that, that's one of the bonuses in there. And if you want to learn how to monetize your podcast, that's the other bonus. So we walk through how you can make money from your podcast. So if you're ready, you want to jump in, whether you're looking to grow your website traffic through blogging and search engine optimization, that's Simple SEO Content. If you are looking to launch a podcast or you have one that's in that, 30, 40, 50 downloads per episode, it's just not growing and you're not sure why, and you really want more visibility, then that's Simple Podcast SEO. Both of those classes are available. If you have any questions, you're not sure where to find them or how to get signed up, text me. That's a new thing. You can text me right here through the app. If you look at that little phone icon, yeah, look at me getting all techie. You can click that and text me, and that comes straight into my Buzzsprout account so I can see that and respond back. So if you have questions, let me know. Or as always, you can email me and ask your questions. Just reply back to the weekly email and ask, hey, how do I get signed up for Simple SEO Content? Or if Simple SEO Content is easy, go to the webpage, go to the homepage, sign up for the free SEO class and watch that class. It's going to give you a little more information on it, and then it's going to show you how to get enrolled in Simple SEO Content. The podcast class, or if you're ready to just enroll, that's etchedmarketing.com/yes. And if you're ready to enroll in the podcast class, it's easy. It's etchedmarketing.com/enroll. ENROLL, enroll. All right. So that's enough about the classes. I just am so happy that you're here, you're learning, you're joining me in the classes, you're really getting to take on this organic marketing and grow your business. And I'm so glad that you're here and you listen each week. And I would love it if you would give a quick rating, a review, share it with another friend who's also building a business, who really wants to learn how to do all of this. That really helps the algorithm. We talk a lot about the algorithms. Sharing, engaging, rating, reviewing, all of those things help the podcast apps understand that this is a good podcast. There's lots of information and we like it. And then they show it to more people. It ranks higher and higher. So that engagement is really helpful. If you would do that, I would be so appreciative. And I know I've shared before, but I just want to say I have fallen in love with podcasting. It gives me such vibes of college radio. And you're probably laughing as I say that. But I went to ASU, Arizona State, and I went to Cronkite School, which is one of the top journalism schools in the nation. Back in the day, I was pretty sure I was going to be a television news reporter. Did not end up going that way, but I'm actually using my degree. So, hey, there's something there. But when I was in college, I worked at the radio station and I was a news reporter and I also was a DJ. And we'd be there and we'd be sitting in front of our computer and we'd have our mic and we'd be talking and talking and talking with zero feedback. And so you'd feel like, is anybody out there listening? And so when you start a podcast, it's very similar. So when I recorded those first episodes, it was like, is anybody going to listen to this? Is anybody going to care? Now I know hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people listen to it every week. And that makes my heart happy because it's growing and it's helping more and more people. There are thousands of people a month that listen to this podcast. So that makes me so happy. But it does take me back to my college radio days. So I'll do a fun throwback. This is Rachel Gordon. That was my maiden name. Rachel Gordon for KASR 1260 AM, the voice of Arizona State University. There's my little throwback to the 90s, to college. And yeah, I used to be Rachel Gordon. Now I'm Rachel Lindhagen. All right, so let's jump in. Now that we've talked about 100 episodes and how exciting it is, of the first 100 episodes, I'm seeing a theme as to what you like. So we're going to talk about that. The most popular episodes have all dealt with SEO, and a lot of them have dealt with keywords. So the 5 most popular episodes to date, we're going to talk a little bit about points from each of them so that you get a little extra nudge or a little extra nugget, because some of these episodes were some of the very first ones that came out. So we haven't talked about them in a while. So one of the most popular episodes, we're going to start at number 1, is episode number 3, all about SEO keywords. Everything you know about SEO keywords is wrong, and here's what's right. Not only does it have a catchy title, but the reality is most people make mistakes with their SEO keywords. So that episode talks a lot about choosing the right keyword. What I see with my students, with clients, when I used to take on client work, with people who are asking questions or thinking about enrolling in the program, most times they're thinking about the wrong type keyword for Google, for their website. They're looking at things that are what we would call fathead or like top of the funnel, very broad terms, something like shoes, keywords that have a ton of search volume. But as a small business owner, we're never going to rank for them. So it's going to make it really hard, because even if we do everything right, if we're choosing the wrong keyword, we're not going to get traffic because we're not going to rank. Google's not going to see our website as being authoritative enough for that particular keyword. So it's really important that we as small business owners look for what's called a long tail keyword. That's a keyword that probably is more a phrase than a word. So there's probably 3, 4, maybe even 5 or 6 words that are all strung together as a phrase. There's going to be a lot less search volume on that. But if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you know that that's okay, because we don't have to get a huge amount of search traffic if that traffic that we're getting is really targeted and really relevant and very interested in what we have to offer. We can still build an amazing business because we're going to use our blog and our content to drive exponential returns for us. So rather than trying to get one page to rank for a keyword that has 10,000 searches a month, which is never going to happen, we are going to create multiple blog posts and we're going to really cast a wide net and we're going to bring in small bits of traffic to every single blog post and they're going to build on each other and we're going to get a ton of traffic that way. That's the overall strategy that we're going to use. And that's what I teach you how to do in Simple SEO content. I teach you how to find those keywords that you can rank for, how to position them, how to title your things, how to write your blog posts, all of that so that the content you're creating gets found. Because what SEO does is it helps your content get found by the right person. It helps Google understand what you're writing. And in turn, Google then shows it to the person who's interested in it. So that's the very first thing we're going to talk about is just choosing the right keyword. That's going to be one of the most important themes of this entire podcast ever and moving forward. The next most popular episode is episode number 30, how to add SEO keywords to your website. So this is a question I often get is where do I put the keywords? What do I do? So if you don't yet have the beginner's guide to SEO, I want you to request a copy of that today. That's available on my website at the freebies tab. So etchdmarketing.com/freebies. Request a copy of that and download it. That's going to walk you through what each SEO element is, how to format it, what the best practices are, and it's got a super handy checklist that you can print off and use to make sure you've done SEO properly on your website page or blog post. You also can learn about that if you take the SEO 101 course that's on the website. So all you have to do there is watch the class. It's going to walk you through some of why you need to do SEO, how you can do SEO. It's going to then give you the information on that. It also will give you information on Simple SEO content. I'll be honest, it's going to give you an opportunity to register and join me in the class because ultimately that's what's best for people who want to learn SEO is to come and join me in class and learn and have me teach them. It makes it a whole lot easier and faster. So that's how you're going to add keywords. The next most popular one is episode number 74, super common SEO mistakes. Everybody likes to know what the mistakes are so they can make sure that they're not making them. So some of the mistakes are things we've talked about already in our other super popular episodes. The number one mistake that I see, and it could go, let's say 1 and 2, and they could almost be a tie. Number one is putting off SEO, not doing SEO, waiting for the perfect time, waiting till the website is perfect, waiting to do SEO is one of the absolute biggest mistakes because you can't expect to get website traffic from SEO for SEO that you haven't done. Like, it's just the bottom line. A website without SEO done on it and done correctly might as well not exist in Google's eyes because Google can't understand the website as well as they could if you had done the optimization on it, which means all the content that you're creating, you're limiting the audience that can see it because you haven't done SEO yet. So if you're creating content but you're not optimizing it, stop writing the blog posts, save yourself the time because they're not going to get the visibility until you learn SEO. So honestly, if you're doing that and you're creating weekly content and you're not yet optimizing it, I would just pause on creating the content, take Simple SEO content with me, learn how to create your content strategically, and then learn how to optimize it so that you're able to get more traffic and then move forward doing it with the SEO in mind. And honestly, it's not going to take you a whole lot more time. If you're already creating your content, to create it and optimize it and do it in an SEO friendly way is maybe 20 minutes extra. It's going to take you a little while to do the research and to figure out which keyword to use. But once you understand how to do keyword research and you've learned my process, which is super easy, and I do actually show you how to do it with screen shares, and I show you how I go through the thought process and how I decide which keyword I'm going to go after and all of that. Once you know how to choose keywords, it's really easy. And there you're just going to have to optimize your SEO elements. And that's going to take you a matter of a few minutes. The next one that I see, the next super common mistake is choosing the wrong keyword. And we already talked about this when we talked about episode number 3, all about SEO keywords. most people are choosing the wrong keyword. They're choosing keywords that are too competitive and they're not going to be able to rank for them. So in Simple SEO content, I actually teach you how to go through and verify before you start writing if you've found a good keyword. And then I'll be honest, most of my students, when they're first learning, actually ask me to take a look at it and double check their verification and let them know if they're on the right track before they start writing, just because they want to make sure that they're fully understanding it before they invest the time into writing their blog post. The next thing that I see very often is that they're letting the website do it for them, especially if they're on WordPress. So if you're on WordPress, and you're using the Yoast SEO plugin, which is my favorite for WordPress, and you just need the free version. You don't have to pay for the advanced version. It will automatically give you a title tag based on the name of your blog post, but that's not necessarily optimized. So I really don't want you to do that. If you have a website builder that's willing to give you title tag and meta description, or you're using AI and you're asking it to do it, because I've talked about it before. You can use ChatGPT to help you with your title tags and meta descriptions. But the thing is, you need to understand SEO best practices before you do that, because especially the AI tools, they don't get them right, and they don't necessarily follow best practices unless you guide them and tell them what to do, what keyword to use, how many characters, all of that. So that's a big mistake that I see people doing. And I understand we're doing things because we want to speed the process up. We want to be able to have more time. I get that. And I'm all about doing things to make the process work better. But don't skimp out on doing the actual optimization on your blog posts that you're creating or your website pages that you're creating. Go ahead and make sure you're doing it, or if you're using a tool, make sure you're verifying that it follows SEO best practices. It's going to be really important, because you're not going to get traffic to that blog post if the optimization is not good, if the title tags are not engaging, people aren't going to click through. I teach about this in Simple SEO content, like what type title tag you want to have and how you want to position it so that people are more intrigued and more likely to click through and to read your blog post, etc. Then number 4 is SEO tips on how to get free website traffic from Google to your content. So this one is going to sound pretty similar to a lot of what we've talked about so far. So really, if you're creating content and you want Google to find it, then you have to optimize it so that Google understands what that content is about. You have to, I'll bet you're going to guess by now, choose a keyword that your website has a really good chance of ranking for. And you want to rank high on the top of page 1 because that's where the traffic goes. So in order to get traffic, you need to choose a keyword that you have a really good chance of ranking for. You need to use that keyword in all the places that Google is looking for information about that page or blog post. And you need to make sure, more than anything, you're creating great quality content that is helpful, that provides value. Do not use AI to create content for you. It is not the quality of content that Google wants to rank high in the search engine. You will not get results if you're just having AI push out a bunch of blog posts for you. In fact, Google will work on removing you from their index. They actually removed, I'm trying to remember if it was 40 or 50% of all the AI spam in the March 2024 core update, the AI spam update. They really don't want that stuff in their index because it's not helpful to the reader. So write your content. If you truly want to use AI for your content, I've got a couple of blog posts and podcast episodes that talk about ways you can use AI as a tool to help you and not get in trouble with Google. But really, it's more about use it for brainstorming, use it to help you come up with ideas for your subject lines, your title, your blog post, etc. But do not have it write a draft of your blog post because it's not good. Okay. And then the last one, most popular, is one of my favorite topics because it's been floating around as long as I've been in SEO. Is SEO dead? Oh, my friend, no. SEO is not dead. It's not dying. It has been rumored to be dying the entire time I've been in the industry, which is about 15 years now. Every time something changes, people say, SEO is dead, SEO is dead. It's not. So SEO is changing, especially with AI overviews and some of the changes that we're seeing, and now social media channels. SEO is evolving. We're in an evolution point. What worked a decade ago doesn't work today. But the reality is, what worked a decade ago were some cheater tactics, like more than a decade ago, because Google got smart. Googlebot, which is the crawler, the way that Google crawls the web and indexes all the information. It's the search engine spider that they use. Googlebot has evolved and is much more advanced now than it was 10 or 12 years ago. In the early days of SEO, the wild, wild west of SEO, you could rank pretty much any page you wanted by getting a bunch of backlinks to it. And one of my old bosses said the agency he was with early on, like he was in SEO longer than me. So they would have these competitions and they would give them a keyword and a page. And then they would have to get that page to rank for that keyword. And the person who got it to rank the fastest was the winner, would win like $100 or something, to keep their skills sharp and to see what worked and all of that. And he said, all you had to do was get links. And back then you could get, like when I first moved into that agency in 2012, we still had offshore link builders and we would buy links. We would build links. We would do directory listings and all sorts of stuff that is completely outdated today. Though I'll bet you still get emails from people about high DA links and they can get you this and they can get you that and directory listings and stuff. And I've told you before, just delete all those. They're junk. Don't do it. But back in the day, you could do that. And then content wasn't necessarily great quality either. It wasn't AI because AI didn't exist, but it was generally written by offshore copywriters because it was cheaper. They didn't necessarily ask a lot of questions. And so you would get, like, I remember one of the guys who worked for me in that time frame was trying to write a copy brief to give to the writing team. And we were a big agency. We worked with huge clients. And most of our content at that point in time, when I first got there in 2012, was coming from cheap copy houses. Some were US based, some were offshore. This was 12 years ago. And they would say, use this keyword and use it 6 times and do this and put it 8 times here and use it 4 times in the headers. And like, it was definitely designed for search engine optimization. That was it. I came at it from a different approach because I come from a journalism background. And so I said, no, I don't want to do that. What you have to do is write for your customer. And Google started saying, write for your customer. And what was fascinating, I was at SMX East in either 12 or 13. I can't remember for sure, but it was Search Marketing Expo East. It was in Manhattan at the Javits Center. And like I said, I don't remember if it was 12 or 13, but it was in that time frame. And the whole focus, we had just gone through Panda and Penguin, which were Google's link building and low quality content algorithm updates. So if you heard this year helpful content updates or the core algorithm updates, that was Panda and Penguin 12 years ago. And these were huge and they were the change and this was what everybody needed to do. And at that conference, they were talking all about hire a journalist. Hire a journalist. The way that Google is moving, it's going to be all about high quality content that's optimized for the search engine. Guys, that was 12 years ago. That's what we still have to do today. So people say SEO is dying. SEO is changing. I know this past year, there've been people pushing this. SEO has changed so much. You have to learn everything new. SEO, for those of us who've been in the industry for a long time, who actually follow industry updates and trainings, nothing has really changed in the last 12 years. Google's focus remains create high quality content and optimize it. Create the content for your audience, optimize it for us. That's what they want you to do. So no, SEO is not dying. SEO is never going to be completely gone. Yes, we have AI overviews now, but there's things you can do from an AI optimization standpoint as well. There's these new featured snippet. I know people are kind of concerned about, well, the AI overview shows the information. They don't need to go to your website. But that's not new either, because we've had direct answers and featured snippets for more than 8 or 10 years now. So it's not really anything different. They're pulling information, they're displaying it in the search results. The reality is, when they pull direct answers or featured snippets, they figure it's a query that somebody really doesn't need to go read the entire blog post anyway. They just are looking for information. Like direct answers, how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon? Well, I don't need to read somebody's blog post to find out that it's 3 teaspoons to 1 tablespoon, right? I just need that answer. That's what Google is doing. So Google is evolving. SEO is not dying. It's not going to die. What you need to do is continue to create great content for your audience and optimize for the search engine. The other thing that's interesting to me is, as we're evolving, a lot of the social media channels are becoming search engines, or they're beginning to use more search engine tactics like searching by hashtags, file names, things like that. Pinterest is not a social media channel. Pinterest is a search engine. It's a visual search engine. YouTube is a search engine. It's a video search engine. Instagram is a social media channel. However, many people are now searching Instagram rather than Google, especially our younger consumers. Like my stepdaughter, who's in her early 20s, she's more likely to search for things on Instagram and TikTok than on Google. And she's normal for that Gen Z consumer. So if your consumer is younger and is Gen Z and is more likely to be using Instagram and TikTok, there are ways you can optimize those channels for search using a lot of what you've learned about SEO for Google and for your website. Podcasts are also searchable, and podcast search engines, their podcast apps are search engines. So you can do podcast SEO as well. I don't teach social media SEO because, as you know, I'm not active on social media from a business perspective. I love social media personally, but I'm not there from a business perspective because for me, it doesn't drive enough traffic to be worth the amount of time that it takes. There's just no ROI, no return on investment there for me. So I don't teach that, but I'm going to teach you about your blog, your website, and your podcast and how to use those to get traffic to your website. I'm also working on developing a course for you on email marketing, so we know how to take those people who come to your website and now capture them and collect their email addresses and build that email list. So we're going to work on creating a full-fledged organic marketing funnel over the next year or so. So we're going to have some real fun here. So we're at 100 episodes. I'm excited to see where we go in the next 100. If there's something that you would love to see me touch on or teach on or talk about on the podcast, do me a favor and text me and let me know what you'd like to see me talk about, or add it to the Google form. There's a form there linked in the show description where you can submit your questions, and I do go through those when I'm planning out content. All right, thank you so much for being here with me today. I know this one was longer than normal, but we also had a lot of things to talk about, and we're celebrating 100 episodes. I am so excited. Yippee! All right, I will see you guys back here next week. Thanks. Bye for now. That's all for today's episode of the Simple SEO Content Podcast. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you visit my website, etchedmarketing.com, and visit the freebies tab. Right there, you're going to find the SEO Content Quick Start Guide along with the free SEO class. So you'll have everything you need to know to get started with SEO and content marketing. Then do me a favor, if you wouldn't mind, if you would do a rating and a review of this podcast on your favorite platform. That would really help spread the message, and I do greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions, you can always DM me on Instagram at Etched Marketing Academy, and I will see you right back here next week.